10 days to 2 weeks. So this is certainly the biggest webinar we've done so far. Currently 40 participants, and this webinar is going to last about 1 hour. And the principal purpose of this webinar is to talk to you about two very, very important things. The first of which is lead generation, and the second of which is actually what do you do when you get the inquiries coming in, how we service those inquiries, and how we convert them into wellness advocates and customers. So if you're just joining us, please go to the bottom left of the screen and mute out. Make sure you're muted out if you're just literally joining us. We've had, as I said, we've had stacks of people joining last 10 days in particular, and we are moving into momentum, and the purpose of this webinar is to help you all become a part of that momentum. And it's very exciting. What we have you tonight is we're going to talk about mainly 2 or 3 lead generation strategies, and there's going to be a couple of testimonials on lead generation and how that works and how that's going. And I'm sure you'll find that very valuable if you have just joined the business. And then we're going to have a full business presentation as well, which will show you how to show the business to someone who's looking specifically as an income seeker or a business opportunity seeker. And obviously there are occasions where people are just wanting to become customers, and we would deal with those inquiries differently. So tonight, for the purposes of tonight, we're going to major on how we service leads that we might get, for example, from Facebook or from advertising or from reaching out to people and who are interested in the business. We're going to take you through the process of that and how we deal with them. So I'm going to start, though, by doing a couple of really quick things. If I can work this machine, here we go. And I'm going to show you just a really quick, here we go. Now, I'm just going to share my screen really quickly. This is kind of basic stuff, okay? But I do think it's important that we put first things first. And the first thing to say is you should all use the products. This kind of sounds like an obvious statement to make, but not just the oils. Absolutely use the oils, and absolutely have a diffuser going in your house and get to know and experience the products yourself. That's really, really important. And you really can't fake that. But we also use, as well as using the oils, we take a lot of the oils internally. We've used a number of the oils, the core 10 oils that we got in our initial kit, and we bought several others since then. But we also use, and this is really what I wanted to say first of all, is we also use all these other products, like there's the deodorant, the hand wash, the deep blue rub, which I use in the gym. We also use the shampoo, and we use the toothpaste, which is fantastic stuff. And I recommend you try all those products, but you'll find that just like the oils, they're amazing products. So make sure you use the products. And also you'll see in the bottom right hand corner there, the lifelong vitality pack, which I got as a free product of the month last month. And I'm now taking it as part of my health regime. And it's fantastic to use, gives you loads of energy, and it has numerous health benefits, too many to mention here, but just take it on trust that it's a really amazing product. If you want to find out more about that product, that is actually doTERRA's top selling product. And you can go on YouTube, and if you type in LLV, Dr. Axe LLV, you can find out the detail and the science behind the product. But it's basically the equivalent to 12 fruit and vegetables a day, which is amazing. So have a look at that. If you haven't yet tried Lifelong Vitality Pack, please do so. There's a bit of noise in the background. If you've just joined, please mute out your microphone by going to the bottom left of the screen, because I can hear people banging around in the background. Now, tonight we would encourage you to develop a business plan, and we're going to talk to you about some very specific things that you can do to put in place a plan which will ensure that you become part of our momentum. And we are moving into momentum as a business, and we very much want everybody that's involved to take full advantage of that. One of the ways that you can do that, obviously, is to contact people you know, but the purpose of tonight's webinar really is to make sure you understand that although we do recommend you contact your warm list, so definitely ring, Bob the Builder and Uncle Pete the Plumber, etc., because they may well become really good customers. So it's well worth ringing them. And I would approach warmness on that basis. But we are also coming from, many of us, another network, and you will have huge numbers of people that you're connected to on Facebook who may well be interested in looking at what we have to offer as a business. So we're going to cover that as well. But it's pretty obvious that you need to have a strategy in terms of a business plan. So tonight we're specifically going to talk about social media, but we're also going to talk about some things that you can do face to face and how you can combine the two. So lead generation is all important, and the biggest single reason why people fail in the industry is because they don't have enough people to speak to. Well, there's absolutely no reason for that to be the case with anybody on this webinar, because we can show you how to develop huge numbers of inquiries, and we're also going to show you tonight how to convert those inquiries into wholesale customers and wellness advocates. So that's the purpose of the webinar. So you need a plan, but here's what happens. In the beginning, when we get those inquiries, it's really simple. All you have to do is direct people to a website, which is globallifestylesgroup.com. And if they go to that website, it's recently been upgraded, they will then get a chance to look at some videos about the products. They'll see Nathan and Rebecca. They'll also find out a bit about the company. They'll also find out on that website what essential oils are, because most people, or a lot of people, don't really understand what essential oils are. So we give them some immediate information, and that is really intended to qualify people, but it's not intended to give them a full explanation of the business. That's our job after they've visited the website. So what I usually do is I send them a message and I say, have a look at the videos, have a look at this website. And then the next stage is to have a one-to-one call with me, either on Zoom or on the telephone, when I go through the detail with you. Now, I do them on Zoom. You can do them on Zoom or on Skype or on the telephone. We will have the presentation that you're about to see tonight loaded onto a website. So you could do it on the phone with them looking at the website on their computer while you look at it on your computer. But I personally prefer to do it on Zoom because I share screens. But if you don't want to do Zoom, it's fine. You can do it on the phone because it will be on a website. So the process is we generate leads, we send people to this website, and the purpose of the website is to filter them out to find out, are they interested in finding out more information? But it's not intended to give them a full explanation of the business. But you will see that tonight. And once you've seen it tonight, we will also be doing, we'll be recording tonight's webinar, but we will also be doing a separate recording of the presentation, which you can also use. So if you're doing lots of other things, you've got other businesses, other commitments, we will have an automated system with basically what I call a silent appointment. So you could just direct someone to a link and then they go watch the presentation and then get back to you. So all of that will be revealed tonight. So we have got to push on, but the process itself, once we generate the leads initially, it's quite important to understand this actually. If you're just new to the business and maybe you've joined the opportunity because you've seen how well we're doing in the business and how fast it's moving, it's a great system that we have, because once we got those inquiries, quite often we offer people a free sample of the products, so they try before they buy, but they then have to have a customer experience where they use the product, and that's really important. So if someone says to me, you know, how much is a bottle of lavender, how much is a bottle of this, or what, you know, or how much does it cost, I'm not going to get drawn into that at an early stage. I'm going to say, look, there's different ways of buying the products. There's actually 3 different ways of buying the products. And I can't explain that now. What we offer people is a free sample where you can actually experience and use the product. And then if you're interested in finding out more, we give you a detailed explanation in a class or one-to-one. You know, and again, you can do that face-to-face. I've done them in coffee shops, on the motorway, and you can also do them on Zoom, and you can do them, you know, in people's houses, and you can do them in groups of people in people's houses. So how you do that is entirely up to you. It doesn't really matter. One-to-one is fine. A group of people in a house is fine. It's fine in a coffee shop, and it's fine on Zoom if you do it right. But the key point to understand is they have a sample, they use the product, they have some kind of positive customer experience. Then we give them more detailed information, and usually that involves more sampling of the products, more experiences, and then they buy the oils. And then after that, we do a wellness consultation. So we don't get into discussions about how much is a bottle of lavender. Not worth it, and it won't work if you do it that way. It's much more important to follow that system. Sample, experience, class, where we give them more information, either one-to-one or in a group, and then a wellness consultation, which is how we set people up as either wholesale customers or wellness advocates, and in which case it becomes a getting started induction. So that is the system. Now, how do you take advantage of that system? How can you maximize the opportunity? What is it? How does it actually work in practice? To show you that this is not by any means pie in the sky or some kind of figment of someone's imagination, we're now going to have a couple of testimonials for a couple of minutes from people who are actually out there doing it. And I'd like to welcome on to the webinar a couple of people based down in Doncaster who have been in the business, I think, about 3 months, but they're going to tell you now how to do it. So if you can unmute your microphone, please welcome onto the webinar Daniel and Michelle Marshall.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yep.
Yep. Fantastic, yes. It's great to be here on the webinar tonight. We came from the old network, and in that network we had some amazing people in our upline, but none of them were really willing to support us and help us. So it's great to be a part of this team and this group with Peter Rea as our upline, Neil and Andy. So it's great to, and I consider these people, you know, the people that were really current in the old network, that were really moving their business forward. So when they joined doTERRA, we were absolutely, you know, gobsmacked with it, and we'd heard of doTERRA before, but we just thought, you know, let's go and get started. And we were absolutely amazed by the oils, and absolutely love them, and they've changed our lives and our family's life already. And just to say what Neil said there about using the different products, I think that's so important. You know, I think every single product on there, we use them, apart from the deodorant. I have to stop using deodorant. And I don't know what the difference is between that one and the regular ones, but I'm sure it has some good, you know, good oils in that'll help keep me healthy and everything like that. So yeah, just use the products, and they really work. They're absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to hand the time over to Michelle for a little bit.
Yeah, Neil's asked us to speak tonight just briefly about how we've used our Facebook page to get people to classes and to generate a little bit more interest. So we've set up a Facebook page. We've also got a group, but that's something separate. But the page that we use, and you're trying on your page, really, you want to set it up so that you're creating information on there that people are wanting to look at. So it's really good to lead with lifestyle stuff. It's also good to give some testimonials of the products and to show some of the products and show the benefits of those products. So I try and post once a day on the page, and try and post a mixture of those things. Then what we do is we have also been creating an event on the page. Now the events have been to advertise the classes that we've been running. So not only have we had the people from the samples that we've done invited to the classes, but we've also had people from the page who have become interested in a class because they've seen the advert for the class. So this is quite simple to set up, but it's just set up as an event. You can put in a title, a picture, you can put in a description of what the event is, you can put your dates in there, you can actually put, I just found out recently, you can put multiple dates in there. So you could use one post to advertise, I've done a month's worth of classes in the last post that I've done, and it gives people the option to select a class. So that's been really good. And then what we've done is that we have built that page up. It's now got over 100 likes on the page, and that's quite important because you don't just want an empty page. You need people that are going to interact on the page. and yeah, and we want the page to grow. So we also advertise our page in our group, and we also advertise it on local, on Facebook again, but on local for sale boards. And we also advertise it to people that have requested samples, like friends and family, etc., and done it that way as well. And then we've built up a bit of a following now on that page. It's not massive, but it's got over 100 people now that are following that page. So that's been really good, because all those people then see all the posts that I put on. It'll come up on their newsfeed or timeline. So then what we've done is that we've gone and boosted a couple of those posts, and that's been really effective. We've not spent a lot of money on it. I think the minimum you can put is £1 a day on a boost, and I think that's what we've done. We just put £1 a day on it just to see how it went, really, just for a trial. But that was really successful for us. We actually got quite a few people interested in classes. It was a class post that I boosted, by the way, but it got quite a few people interested in the classes. We've even had a couple of people attend class, and we've even sold the kit from that. So it's definitely been worthwhile. And like I said, we've not done many. It's not that we're boosting every single post that we're putting on there. But I've also tried today at having a little go at boosting a post that talks about if you'd like to follow our page, click here and like our page, just to try and increase the likes a little bit more, because then more people will see the information that we're sharing. So I'm actually going to be running a Zoom call like this on Friday. It's going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's a little bit of an odd time, but if anyone wants to log on to that, I'm going to explain how you set up a page and how you make these pages work. So I'll share the link with Neil or Peter, so they can share that link with everyone that wants to log on. We'll also record it, so if you can't get on at 1 o'clock because of all the commitments, that's fine, and you can watch it back later. But hopefully that information will be good for you as well, because yeah, we're getting a really high amount of leads, aren't we, from our Facebook at the minute. So yeah, so that's good. So if you want to just explain.
Yeah, just one of the people that, well, the lady that we signed up, she signed up on for the £230 odd kit, and we actually cancelled the class because our son, a lot of you may have seen it on Facebook, that our son had mumps, and his neck was massive, and he ended up going to hospital, and we cancelled the class. But even though we cancelled the class, his sisters came along, and I was at home, and I just remembered that we were going to have a class, so I quickly tidied up a little bit in the front room, and they came in, and I was sort of in contact with Michelle, saying, "These people are here. What we're going to do?" And I just sort of got them interested in the oils, smelling the oils, and just sort of started the class off on my own. And Michelle came in and carried on with the class, and they were really interested. And it's looking as well like they're going to develop into business builders as well with that. But just another quick note on the page: when you're boosting your post, you can actually put things on there like what area you want the post boosted in. So it can be within, like, I think we boosted it within a 3-kilometer area of where we live, so people could travel to the class. Because although an internet class can be good, I think it's very much more effective. It's just doing it face to face with people. You can also look for people that are interested in different things. So you can look for people that are interested in business and finance, or you can look for people that are interested in fitness and health and that sort of thing. And you can target it at women or men or both, if you like, and different age ranges. So yeah, so that's something to have a look at. But Michelle, like she said, she'll cover that on Friday. All right, thank you everyone for listening. We'll hand back to Neil.
Excellent, thank you very much, Daniel and Michelle. So there you go. You can't stop them joining if you get enough leads coming in. Even when they cancel the class, people still showed up and joined. So that's pretty amazing. So that's Facebook pages, and if you're not familiar with that, then it's easy enough to find out. There's a book you can get. I always promote this book. This is called what is it called? Network Marketing for Facebook, and it's by a couple of people called Lupkin and Carter, and it deals with Facebook pages. Now, I want to go quickly now. Thanks very much for that, Daniel and Michelle. So it's Facebook pages and boosting the page to generate inquiries. So that's a kind of good lead generation strategy. And it's not spamming people. You can target market using that method. And I think they prove that it really works really, really well. So what I want to do now is I want to go quickly to Leanne Gilroy, who is going to tell us a bit more about some of the lead generation that she's done since she started. So over to Leanne.
Hi. I'm just assuming everybody can hear me okay. So yeah, basically I'm just kind of going to tell you roughly kind of how it's worked for us and give you some tips really. So in the beginning, when we first joined, we've been in for about 14 weeks now, so we're still really new, but we've had a really good growth come in that really sort of short period of time. But to begin with, I think it was a good idea what Neil said about contacting your warm market, and that's exactly what we did at the very beginning for our lead generation, is just speak to your warm market, friends, family, that type of thing. Now we've come from another network and we've already approached our warm market in the past, and our friends and family didn't show an over interest in the last network, but this is completely different this time round. The products are very different. It's just a whole different ball game. So if you are from another network, I would definitely urge you to recontact your warm market, because that's what we did. And straight away we had, you know, 2 sisters and a mother-in-law join within about a week or so when we were just kind of brand new, but it was really good. We got our family working with us, which is really cool. So that was the first strategy that we used, was our warm market. So that's definitely what I would recommend to begin with, and then, you know, just friends and family, mums in the playground, that's a really good one. But that's a very sort of long-term ongoing process that just kind of keeps going, if you know what I mean. So that's one strategy I would definitely recommend doing. That's long-term, and it just, you know, work on that all the time when you're at social events and stuff. The second thing that we've done is Facebook. That's the second strategy that we've used. We've got a group, and it's a really gentle approach that we've used with Facebook. It's not like spamming like lots of Facebook groups or anything like that. It's not in your face. It's just a group that we have where it's more based on education. So the posts that I'm putting in my group are things just telling them about the difference. Well, first of all, what essential oil is, giving them a little bit of education about that, the difference between doTERRA and other oils, testimonials from friends and families that have been sampled, customers that have been sampled, testimonials in there. And we've generated quite a lot of inquiries and samples through Facebook. Now, we've not had huge numbers of samples going out, but the samples that we have had is what I would say effective sampling. And what I mean by that is not just throwing my oils away to everybody that just wants one for free, because you'll get a lot of that on Facebook. So it's more about contacting them and, you know, having a chat with them on the phone, getting to know them a little bit before kind of committing to giving them a sample. And also as well, part of the deal is you want some feedback on how the product went for them. So in the very beginning, when we first joined, we did a couple of classes. We knew nothing really much about the product, apart from just doing a little bit of homework on the 10 core oils. And I think that's, in the beginning, that's all you really have to know, is these 10 core oils. I think that's kind of the most important thing, is to have a little bit of knowledge about that. We did our first class. Nobody bought anything in our first class, but that was okay. We were really, you know, happy that we just done the experience, got that over and done with, and, you know, give us a confidence boost just because we kind of stretched our comfort zone. The second class was a couple of days later, and we moved to Home Essentials kit, and I was amazed that, without even me knowing too much about the products, I'd done my homework, but I loved the products, and clearly that came over as being passionate enough. So that was how that started. And then through Facebook, some sampling, I've kind of moved more into one-to-ones with the leads that have come through Facebook. And through doing that, I've done about 6 or 7 one-to-ones. Each one of them have all bought home essential kits, bar one. One's bought the family physician kit. And I think that's really happened because I'm passionate about the products. It's easy to see. I use the products. I love the products. And with one-to-ones, I feel that you can tailor them really well to them. You know, you can really get to know your customers, basically, and see, you know, that they care. So Facebook has worked really, really well for me. We've now started to post very gently in a couple of very local groups to us, so it's not spamming, and it's more just a case of inviting people to have a look at our group. So we're not like throwing products in people's faces, it's more about inviting people to come and have a look at the group. And that's going really well as well. And the third thing that we're doing just now for lead generation is fairs and crafts and stuff like that for Christmas, because it's peak season for this. So we did our first fair on Friday. We got about 10 samples out, but again, very effective sampling. So it wasn't just throwing oils away at everybody. It was speaking to people, really finding out about the ailments, you know, coming across like we genuinely want to help them, because we do. And I've got a couple of one-to-ones booked in just from that. And coming up, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 more fairs coming up through November and into the beginning of December, which I think is a really good lead generation sort of strategy to have come Christmas season, because it's kind of peak right now. So I think what I'm trying to say is you need to just have a plan about how you're going to generate leads, because it's, you know, it's cliche but true that the products do sell themselves because they're amazing, but you have a job to move the product at the same time. So you have to have a plan in place about how you're going to move it, whether it be Facebook or markets or warm market, stuff like that. You need to kind of have a plan about what you're going to do there. So it's went really well. Our turnover, actually, if we've only been in for a really short period of time, our first turnover was 2,000 in our first 4 weeks, which was brilliant. Then it was 4, and then it was up to 7.5. So this month we're going to be aiming to get 10. We're going to be ranking at Premier, definitely. So the business has moved really, really quickly, but it's all down to learning how to effectively sample ourselves, and then obviously our team doing the same. So you need to have a plan in place for that, for sure. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll pass you back. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Leanne. So there you go. She sold 7 kits, all joining on the 250 kit. So that was excellent information. Crafts, fairs, stalls, and also Facebook groups. And you'll notice that she talked about education and not kind of ramming products at people, just education. And if you do that, you will generate interest, and then they chase you. So that's so far we've talked about Facebook pages, Facebook groups, stalls, fairs, Christmas fairs, etc., in order to generate leads. And what we're going to do now is look at the presentation. So what as I mentioned, we direct people to the globallifestylesgroup.com website. That gives them a bit of information about the business, an overview of the business really. And then we're going to go into detail in the presentation. And to take you through that now, we have Peter Rea, who's new to the business. So he's a new boy, so be nice to him because he might not come back. So he's been in about, I think, officially about 10 days, 12 days, something like that. And he's going to take you through, he's done this presentation, which I've seen, which is amazing. And he takes some notes. We are recording this webinar, but we're also going to do a separate recording of this presentation, as I mentioned earlier. So I will hand you over to Peter Rea.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you're absolutely tickety-boo. I hope you can all hear me nice and clearly. If not, please do someone let me know, because I can't tell if it's coming across nice and clear. In fact, Stu, I can see you. Can you just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Yeah, it's nice and right. Okay, fantastic. Okay, guys, so I wanted to put this presentation together. Neil and I discussed that we felt that we needed something that was we were able to share with the team that would be really duplicatable. The wonderful thing about this is that, as Neil said, once we've gathered some feedback from the videos that we've sent them to at the Global Lifestyles Group, the next step is to arrange, you know, maybe 20, 30 minutes with the particular prospect and agree a time where you're going to take them through this information, okay? So treat it as if it was going to be an appointment on a one-on-one. Treat it, you know, seriously that way. So agree a time, explain to the people, you know, that you're going to take them through a very, very systemized overview of the business, and that you know, you're going to share them some visuals, you're going to talk them through, and that's exactly what it is that we're going to do here, okay? So we're looking to create something that's nice and simple to enable them to take a good look at the business and decide if it's something that they want to do. It's the detail, okay? So let me just move on, if I may. So, okay, let's just try and get the screen to move on. Okay, so firstly, when I take people into the presentation, I like to explain to them, you know, that this is an amazing company, and this is a snapshot of the HQ out in Utah. It's an amazing global campus. It's 70 million. It's a huge organization, and it is extremely impressive. And this company has gone from 0 to 2 billion in literally less than 9 years. And I think that's absolutely staggering. Why I think that's important to the customer is because we actually have a global movement that is interested in natural alternative medicine. So you can't go from 0 to 2 billion a year in less than 9 years and be operating in over 120 countries around the world if you haven't got something going on. And clearly we do know what we have got going on. We've got world-class product. And, you know, I think that's helps to reassure the client the level of growth that the company's had, because you couldn't have that if there wasn't something special happening, okay? So this is just an opportunity to let them know that that it's an amazing organisation that they're considering partnering with, and I think that's important. You can see some of the stats on the screen there. You know, International Company of the Year. They're very philanthropic, okay? They help to put in, you know, water systems and help impoverished communities. And I just make a quick mention of that to people because I see I'm extremely proud to be partnered with the company, okay? So I think what we're doing is we creating a vision of the organisation that they're considering partnering with, okay? Now, this next slide that you see here is really what clarifies to the prospect exactly what our product is. Now, this was a eureka moment for me, and I've got to tell you that, and I make sure that I explain that to the people. I actually say to people that prior to getting involved in this business, I actually thought that essential oils, you know, were the sort of things that people who knitted their own woolly jumpers, wore flip-flops, meditated in the afternoon with incense. I really, really did. I thought it was somewhere between, you know, I just thought it was something that was somewhere between sort of perfume and creams. And I was thinking, how on earth can I get involved in an organisation that's kind of, you know, taking that type of product to market, okay? And of course, the eureka moment was when I realised that our essential oils are therapeutic grade essential oils, and they're entirely different from fragrance essential oils. And that essential oils effectively are the, you know, the plants, extracts of the plant's immune system, which helps the plant to, you know, in defense against the likes of microbes and bacteria and fungus and insects and disease. You know, so it actually helps the plant to heal itself and regenerate itself. And when that goes to work within our bodies, you know, the fact that we've got the same kind of building blocks, it absolutely helps us in the way that it can help plants, which is, you know, our general health and wellness. And then finding out that, you know, that these essential oils, you know, can absorb into our bloodstream within like 30 seconds, and they can be into our cells, you know, within like 20 minutes. For me, that was a bit of a eureka moment. But this is something you may be able to relate to, is if you've ever been to the doctors in the past because you've had a virus, and what do the doctors typically say? Oh, you've just got, there's nothing we can give you, you've got to let it run its course. Now, I'm sure a few of you will be nodding, thinking, yeah, I've heard that. Well, now I understand why the doctors say that, because traditional medicine can't actually penetrate the cell, okay? But of course, essential oils can. So the essential oils actually go to work, you know, on what's actually going wrong within the cell. And we also know that, you know, when cells start going wrong and you start getting mutations and things, that's where a lot of, you know, serious illnesses can actually stem from. So for me, it was a eureka moment finding out what this product was. So, you know, make sure that, you know, you in some way communicate, you know, your understanding of that product now and what a difference that makes, because it is in fact nature's pharmacy. It's an alternative natural solution, you know, to everyday health issues that people go to the dentist, not the dentist, well, they can go for the dentist as well, because you can get like clove oil that helps to numb the pain and reduce the inflammation. I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about here, but I assure you I really don't. So this next slide really just reinforces, you know, that doTERRA is a company of science, all right? They're the most tested, the most trusted oils in the world, you know, and the key takeaway for me on this slide is the huge testing that they do to be able to ensure that the doTERRA oils are in fact the best in the world. And Dr. Robert Pappas, who's bottom left there, you can see there on the screen, he is the #1 go-to guy in the world for essential oils. He's got nothing to do with doTERRA in terms of, you know, he's part of the company. He's actually an independent third party who actually gets involved in the third party testing for doTERRA, okay, and he's actually on camera specifying you know, that there is no company in the world goes to the lengths that doTERRA do to ensure the purity of the grade, you know, the efficacy, you know, and that they are free from contaminants, synthetics and fillers, etc., etc. So this for me is wonderful, because it, you know, it's a company based on science that has aspiration to continue to be a world leader. Okay. Now, this is really important. If I speak to someone and I say, you know, have you ever had essential oils before? Guys, there's a 99% chance that they have never had essential oils like ours. Because if you look at the scale where it's actually got grades of essential oils, all that grey area there, that there is basically representative of the majority of essential oils that exist in the market today. So most people will have only ever experienced, you know, the type of oils that like just smell nice, but really have little or no therapeutic benefit. So that little orange section that you can see here is the percentage of the oils in the world that are of that purity. And as you can see there, that's why, you know, doTERRA is #1. So, you know, and I think the section where I've got the big red box around there, this is really important to get across to people, because the reality is there is no legislation that prevents people from promoting and advertising and selling their oils and saying that they are pure. There's no legislation that prevents them from doing that. When in reality, you know, even when they're promoted as pure, it can still have legally 92% fillers and synthetics, which of course reduces the effectiveness of any potential therapeutic grade. Okay, so for me, you know, this is what people have experienced with essential oils. So when they experience doTERRA essential oils, it is entirely on another level. And I think that's really, really important to get that across. Okay, so guaranteed purity, free from artificial ingredients, fillers and pesticides. Okay, so swiftly moving on. I created this slide. Why did I do it? Because from the people that I've actually spoken to, what becomes evident to me is that they have their own perception of what essential oils are. And I'll absolutely guarantee 99% of the people that I have spoken to, okay, do not realize that this is the offering. You know, our essential oils are to provide a natural, healthy option to over-the-counter medication, okay, that someone would go to a chemist or go to a doctor to treat the typical type of complaints that you can see on the screen. Insomnia, depression, headaches, toothache, indigestion, it goes on and on. And the biggest, I've had more people join me in this business because of the power of my own personal story. Now, the two oils that you can see on the screen there, right at the beginning of the 10 core oils, which is peppermint and lavender. These two oils have absolutely saved my life. There's no two ways about it. I used to suffer really intense headaches. Nothing would take them away. The only thing that would take my headaches away was actually cocodamol, which is high in codeine, highly addictive, and I've been on these tablets for years. I was taking 44 tablets a month. Okay, 44 tablets a month. And, you know, and then I actually put 2 raindrop-sized drops of oil in my hand, as was advised to me, and I rubbed them in my hand like that, and I applied it to the back of my neck, okay, a little bit on my temples. I cupped my hands, and I took 5 huge inhales, and that headache went away within 15 minutes. I was absolutely staggered. Okay, here's the thing. I actually thought it was a coincidence. I couldn't wait to have another headache, just so that I could try it again, so I could prove that it was just, you know, a fluke. And of course, you know, I did it exactly the same again, and it took the headache away. Now, I was floored. I've got no idea why the technical element of it took the headache away, but it took the headache away. Now, I was using these exact same tablets to be able to help me to go to sleep on a night, and because my sleep patterns were absolutely terrible. I've never had a good night's sleep for years. Okay, and I was taking these cocodamols because they can actually make you drowsy. I was taking the cocodamols to help me to go to sleep, and even then it was terrible. It just took the edge off to make me a little bit sleepy, but I didn't have a restful sleep. I'd wake up 2 or 3 times a night, and I was still going to the toilet, and I thought I had prostate trouble, but because I thought it's my age, I'm 54. Oh, it's something else starting to go wrong. Okay, now when again with the lavender, I applied it, okay, rubbed it on me pulse points like that, little bit here, little bit on my chest, got into bed, huge inhales. I'm out for the count. I'm out till the next morning. I've never experienced a restful night's sleep like it. Here's the thing. My restful night's sleeps now is every night. Now, I'm still staggered why a little couple of drops of oil in there like that. But when you start to realise, going back to the original slide, you know, what these oils are and how they work in the bloodstream and into the cell, you suddenly start to get an idea that, you know, that we've got something that, you know, is going to be hugely beneficial to people. Now, I don't explain, and when I'm doing this presentation, I don't spend as long as I'm going to go through it with you tonight. I'm trying to give you a little bit more information to obviously help to embellish on that so you get a greater understanding of what each slide is. So this is not how long the presentation would ordinarily take. But the point I want to make here is that we've had experience with most of those oils. I can tell you, we love the peppermint, okay, for the headaches. We use it all the time. The lavender, it's for the soothing, nice, restful sleep. But we also use it for if we get itchy or we've got a sting or you've got a burn. The melaleuca, if you've got a cold sore or you've got bad skin and you've got, like, you know, a little bit of acne and things like that, that is amazing. The frankincense, oh my word, that is on another level. That's like a booster oil. We use that alongside. If we use something for, like, you know, like I've got like a really bad knee and I use that as a booster oil. But Claire uses that as part of our skin regime. It's amazing. There's a list about that long. You know, Claire mixes that for the ladies, just quickly. Claire mixes 12 drops of frankincense, 12 drops of grapefruit. She fills it tiny at the bottom. She fills it up into a little squirty thing about that big with fractionated oil. She shakes it, and every time she has a bath or a shower, she's putting it onto her skin, okay? And it also helps to get rid of cellulite and the likes. It's part of Claire's routine. But I love frankincense as well because it actually helps our cells to operate at an optimum level. I take 1 drop of it in a glass of water on a morning and I swig it down, not because I immediately feel any benefit for it in the moment, but because I have belief in the oils and what they actually do. And if that's going to help my cells to operate more optimally, okay, and to prevent potential dis-ease, okay, I'm taking it for preventative measures, okay? So, you know, the On Guard we put on Maxie's feet, you know, to be able to, when he goes to school, to help to ward off the bugs, you know, the coughs, the sneezes that he brings back into our house, okay, and then it goes around the whole family. And I got to tell you, okay, we haven't had any coughs or sneezes in our house, you know, for weeks and weeks now. You know, we use the oregano as a natural antibiotic. It's nature's most natural antibiotic. It's been proven to be equally as powerful as the likes of some of the ones that you get from the doctors. We took that for 7 days in a capsule because it's a hot oil, and we just took that 2 a day to give our immune system a huge boost. And I got to tell you, I feel flipping terrific. There's no coughs and sneezes here. Okay, the breathe, you know, if you've got a bit of sinus trouble or you've got a bit of congestion or the bairns have got a bit of asthma, all right, it's fantastic. Lemon every morning, 2 drops is a great detoxifier. It also helps cognitive behavior. Put it in your hands if you're going into a meeting and you need to be sharp and on the ball and making the right decisions. A couple of drops of that. Breathe it in and it helps to improve your cognitive ability. Digest then. It's part of our life. Every day after our dinner, we have 2 drops in water, mix it and drink it. It aids digestion. When you've got good digestive stuff going on, it helps to give you more energy. Deep blue, you know, that's what we use on the knee because I've got a knackered knee, okay? So I put deep blue and I get a bit of booster on it with the old frankincense, put it on, amazing. We've got a great guy in the business who joined called Duncan, got osteoarthritis in his hip, okay? When he walks, he rattles, okay? And he joined the business because of that frankincense mixed with deep blue. And it's like, he's like, Peter, this is amazing. He joined the business. So guys, I'm not saying you need to go through a whole list of this when you're talking to people, but bring into it your own personal experience, 1 or 2 experiences, you know, about what you've got. Because I tell you, it's very powerful. And when you've got the belief in the oils in the way that I have now, it becomes absolutely unshakable. You couldn't pay me now to not take these oils, okay, guys? So anyway, I've got to quickly move on. I'm conscious of the time, so I'm going to have to go a bit faster. So someone looking at the business would be thinking, oh, wow, they sound amazing. I could see how people would be interested in those oils, so they can kind of see how there's an opportunity. But they might be worrying, well, what if I don't know what oils to recommend? Well, nor did we, and nor do you have to. You can download this app for £6, okay, and you've got it on your phone, and if you put in there arthritis, or you put in there indigestion, it tells you what oils to use. So this is really reassuring for people who are, you know, considering joining the business, because now you've just put their mind at ease that they do not have to be a chemist, okay, or a specialist. So that's a really important key point, okay. Now, Neil's already really reinforced this, so I'm not going to go into great detail. We've got a great system, free sample, try before you buy, okay. How easy is that? But we've got an effective system for following up, okay, because at the end of the day, and we don't want to throw samples. I think Leanne said that. We don't just throw samples at people. We qualify people. We make sure that they're, you know, that they, you know, are happy for us to contact them in a few days' time, you know, because their hopeful outcome is that this oil is going to help them. Our hopeful outcome is that they're going to have a great positive experience, so that as a business, we can then explain to them how they can acquire the oils from us. So I'm very clear that I'm running a business when I give a sample, okay? So look, I'm really happy to send them to you, and going to keep my fingers crossed you have a great result. But, you know, I will give you a ring back in a few days' time, because I'm hoping it's gone fantastic for you, so that we can talk about how we can help you with the oils, okay, and you can get the oils from us. So I'll let them know that it's a business. But anyway, Neil's kind of gone through this slide. So, you know, sample, experience, a one-on-one to give them more information. The education is really important, so they know what's special about our oils and why our oils are completely different to the other stuff on the shelves, okay? And then we help them to get started, and that's great reassurance as well for them, okay? So now people may be thinking, okay, it looks a great company, it looks a fantastic product, you know, I love the fact that I don't have to become a specialist, okay, but how would I kind of start reaching out to people? Well, this slide demonstrates that. The little top left suggests we've all got an address book. And I'd like to draw your attention now to the bottom right, because it's all about networking. But look, let me start with one, opportunities. Many of us have been in other opportunities. We know lots of people. That's the first thing, okay? We've got lots of contacts, okay? Business cards. Look, these are my business cards I've just accumulated. That's literally just over the last few weeks, okay? So, you know, we accumulate business cards. We've got colleagues. We've got friends, people that we used to work in the past. Okay, communities, okay, common interests. I love metal detecting. My metal detecting pals, at the end of the day, they have a really achy back, all right? So I've got a solution for that. So what I'm trying to say is, over your career and over many, many years of being on this planet, if you just sit down and think about it, you know more people than you think, okay? So this is a great way of being able to reach out to people. I've crafted some words, okay? I think it's a great start. But it lets people see, because it opens up their mind, and they start to see how they could perhaps, yeah, I could see how I could step forward now with this business. Hi, Peter, over recent months, I've become interested in natural medicine, in particular, therapeutic grade essential oils, not fragrance essential oils. These oils are 100% pure, safe, completely natural. They're very potent, and they can help us with everyday health-related issues as a natural option to over-the-counter drugs. If you're interested in natural medicine generally, or if you suffer from any of these usual conditions, blah, 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 I'd be happy to send you a free sample to use in return for your valued feedback. You could see how anybody could reach out to people through email, through text, from people from their address book, on social media, okay? So I really believe that this is the key to letting people understand how simple it is to be able to start to reach out. And it's like when you take the first step, the second, the third step just kind of happens consequential from that, okay? So a great slide to do that. Now, let's say you've been living in a cave for the last 20 years, you don't know a single person, all right? We've actually got, because we've got the finest oils in the world, we've actually got an opportunity to be able to introduce our oils to wellness professionals. Okay, like reflexologists, aromatherapists, Reiki healers, chiropractors, okay, because they use oils often, or they're certainly involved in the wellness industry where a natural synergy exists, where they could actually offer our oils to their clients, okay. So we've got a great system that we can reach out to for that, and we're just kind of letting the prospect know that we, you know, that we have a professional offering here. you know, this is a credible business where not only can we communicate with, you know, the domestic market, shall we say, but also with the professional market. But look, we've also identified the therapy, natural therapy website. You can actually, which is at the bottom there, naturaltherapypages.co.uk. You can go on that. You can select one. There's more therapies on there that I even know existed. It's like, oh my God, I didn't even know those things existed. All right. And you can just select it on a drop-down menu. You just stop this screen going off. Okay. And you can put in where you live, Durham, Newcastle. You know, you click search and it brings up all the professionals who specialize in reflexology, aromatherapy, but it brings up that contact number, it brings up that email address, you know, it gives you all the services that they do. It's amazing. There's over 15,000 practitioners on there. Now, ask me if I have any therapists in my business. You're absolutely right. I do have therapists in my business. I've got Reiki healers. I've got aromatherapists. I've got reflexologists. How? Because I reached out to them. And I led with the oil, not the networking opportunity, because that can almost distract them from their focus on their professional service. But we can lead with the oils. And if nothing else, they can become a huge user of the oils. They don't need to do, you know, network marketing for them to be of value to you, let me tell you. All right. So it's amazing. So we've got a great way of being able to reach out to professionals. Okay. So we've got a strategic and systematic approach. We've got an email that we send out to them. We've even got a presentation that we use specifically for the practitioners. Okay. And it does add value to the service that they already provide. So I just like to draw that to the attention of prospects in the event of. Now, the next slide is to give an income seeker an idea of the earning potential in this business, okay? And I think that's really, really important. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail with every element of here, but I'm just going to let them see the progress chart. And no doubt their eyes will, you know, catch on the incomes. But what's interesting is along the bottom of the page, it actually says average months to achieve these income levels for people who are ambitious and want to build it as a business. So clearly, you know, in a different class to people who, you know, are just looking to come in and use the products as a user, okay? So if someone was showing me this and I'm looking along the bottom and thinking, hang on a minute, 18 months to get up to $2,000. Okay, so it's in dollars, it doesn't matter, okay? 27 months to get up to, say, $4,700. 37 months to get up to 9, you know, I'm thinking, oh my goodness. Now, bear in mind what you've already seen, world-class company, world-class product, okay? It's all starting to make sense here. But if they didn't already grasp something, I want to really emphasize this. The reason why this grows really quickly and the incomes are so considerable is because people get involved with doTERRA and they stay with doTERRA. 68% global retention. Our previous company that we were involved in, okay, it was suggested that the retention was around about 6%. We understand that globally, you know, companies are typically between 12 and 20%. I do not know any company in the industry that has this level of retention. That's because when people come into this business, even if they were rubbish at wanting to build a business, because they've used the oil themselves and they love the oils, you couldn't pay me to come off the oils even if I was rubbish at building the business. So that's why people stay in the business. So it's incredible. And what got me excited is that, you know, our colleague Andy Boswell, okay, who joined and was all part of our success line, he hit that level of gold, okay, in his first month. Okay, now, you know, when you convert that, that's just approximate because your business can be more developed. This is the average incomes, okay, you understand. And averages means some of the lower levels at that level and some of the higher levels, the level of gold. But Andy earned over, I think it was £2,100 or £2,200 in his first month. Now, that doesn't really matter other than when you realise that, you know, doTERRA are saying it normally takes 27 months. Andy did that in 1. So we've got the fastest growing team in all of Europe. Okay, and that's because we're coming into it in a slightly different perspective to perhaps our colleagues who've been in doTERRA for years. you know, where they've done it more organically, they've loved the oils, then some people have decided they want to upgrade, and we're kind of coming at it from a business point of view, but we still love the oils, okay? So I just look at that, I think, oh my goodness, we've got an amazing opportunity. You know, if the people that we share this with, 70% of them are going to stay, you can imagine how huge this business can be. And what made it reinforce this to me is that, I want to make this point before I move on to the next slide, because it's a really big, important point I want to make here, is that in our previous network, when our turnover was around about 150,000 stroke 200,000 pound a period, that was giving us around about a £6,000–7,000 a month income, which I thought was pretty good. Yet we've got Nathan and Rebecca on the same income, sorry, on this, I beg your pardon, rewind, on the same turnover, but their income's 20 grand, and my income in the previous network was £6,000 or £7,000. And I just think, whoa. And that's because of the things that we've talked about and we're going to talk about in the next slide, okay, guys? So there's 5 ways to make money with doTERRA. And an income seeker would want to know this, but I don't go into like huge detail, okay? So I just give basic information. And if they turn around and said, oh, can you explain a little bit more? Fair enough. But don't feel compelled to go into huge detail here. I simply turn around and say, look, well, the first way you make money is retail profit. So, you know, if somebody wants to buy one of your oils off you at the full retail price, you get 25% on that, okay? You also get given your own website you can promote, okay, online. And if people land on it and they go on and buy something and it's full retail price, you'll get 25%. Here's the bit I want to make really, really clear, is that you don't have to go and deliver these products to people. You don't have to get involved in taking the payment. All you do is point them to the site, they go on and purchase the oil, okay, and doTERRA take care of the rest. Isn't that amazing? No work to be done other than point people to the website where they can purchase. So I love that. The next one is fast start bonuses. And this is paid on your new enrollees PV. That stands for personal volume for the first 60 days. So let me give you an example. When people get started and they purchase a kit to get started, okay, the kit actually consists of real product, okay? So if I introduce you into the business and you start on a particular kit, I get 20% of the PV that is applied to that kit. And I get paid that weekly. Now, some of you might have seen how over the last 13 days, we've earned £800. That £800 that we've earned in the last 13 days is because of that fast start bonus. It's that simple, okay? So for the first 60 days of any person who I've introduced into the business, okay, I'm going to get 20% of what they do. And then after they come to the end of that 60 days, okay, my fast start bonus on that particular person stops, and then it reverts to the next bonus, which is uni level, okay? So someone I introduced over 2 months ago now is in my uni level, and I'm getting a percentage on that. So it starts at 2%, and it goes 3, 4, and it goes all the way down to 7%, okay? So uni level doesn't represent a huge initial bonus, but as your organization starts to grow, it's amazing. That really becomes a primary way, because you know, you're getting percentages of everyone in your organization, and that really can be quite sizable, okay, shall we say. And I think that's absolutely incredible. One thing I forgot to mention about the fast starts actually is if I share the business with you and you get a kit and I make 20%, if you then share it with somebody else, okay, you get your 20%, but I also get 10%, okay? And then if that other person shared it with someone else, okay, then I get 5%. So the fast starts actually go 20, 10, 5 for you too, okay? So now we're starting to get people in our team starting to recruit. So my fast start bonuses won't just be from what I've personally done, but from now what's actually starting to happen because of the duplication process in the team, which is just awesome, okay? Now, in addition to that, because one of the humongous commissions that you can earn comes from ranking, okay, just like when you move up through that structured chart that you saw, okay, that got us all very excited at the income potential. What I love about this is that the company actually encourage you, okay, to build a structured business, okay? And by encouraging you to build a structured business so that you can earn the really huge bonuses that come from rank in the leadership pools, they actually give you another bonus whilst you're moving in that direction. And what they do is, it's called the power of 3. So if I help my 3 people who are really interested in growing this as a business, if I help them to get 3 people who each set up their monthly auto ship, and there's huge benefits to doing so, because anyone who does that, they can not only just earn 25%, but they can earn up to 55% discount. Okay, so it's huge benefits in doing so. So if those 3 people set up their auto ship, and that they would do that anyway, someone who wants to, you know, obviously build a business, because you need that in place to be able to pick up on your down line. Okay, then I get an extra £50 bonus by helping you to get 3 people. Wow, how amazing is that? You're not complaining, and I'm fantastic. So then if I help you, and we're working together, and I help you get your 3 people to get their 3 people, everybody's happy, and I get another £250 bonus. How amazing is that? And if you do it again, there's a £1,500 bonus. So I just think it's fantastic, you know, that can happen. So again, I'm not going into the details and the depths of all the intricacies of that. Okay, I'm just making the point, and exactly the same, which brings me on to the other one. And I think this is amazing, because what the company do is they take a percentage of their profits, and they put them into different pots, if you like, and they look at how many people they've got at different levels, and by all intents and purposes, they've got so many people at that level, and they share out, you know, the money that's in there, you know, through leadership pools, which is incredible. And these bonuses can range anywhere from like a couple $100 up to thousands of dollars. So when you put that all into place, your retail profit, your fast start bonuses, your uni level, your power of 3, and your leadership bonuses, okay, that's why somebody can earn £20,000 a month on a turnover that I was only earning £6,000 or £7,000 a month on. Okay, and it really is that simple. So swiftly moving on, if I may. One of the most important things when anyone gets involved in anything is support in your business. People like to know that they're not on their own. Okay, so they're in business for themselves, but they're not by themselves. You know, and we've got our community Facebook group, and you guys all know how wonderful that is. It's a hive of activity. I couldn't believe it when I saw, I think it was Andrea's post, or forgive me if I've got the name wrong, about what was happening out in Canada. You know, and it was about 11 people got started with the home essential kits. I'm thinking 11. I've got my calculator out, and I'm thinking, oh my word! At a trade fair that like 3 days in the mountain, and I was just thinking, this is just insane. All right, and the buzz in that group is fantastic, and thank you to you guys. You create that buzz with your success, with what you're doing, how you're all sharing your advice and your tips with each other. You're all celebrating each other's success. You know, you're all welcoming new people to the group. You make it what it is. It's amazing. Then, of course, there's events. Then we do Zoom calls at every opportunity. So, you know, you've got to get good at Zoom or download it, because we screen share with our new people. We use it for coaching, for training. You're on here tonight, need I say any more? And then, of course, we've got the fantastic Global Lifestyles group, where we house the video trainings, all the training documents, so everything's put there in a lovely, neat place for you, which is fantastic. And also, you know, prospects get excited at seeing that, you know, because they realise they're part of an exciting, happening team that's going to help them, support them in taking the business forward. This is fantastic as well. You know, I like them to see, which you've got now in the presentation, you know, like a little bit of a glimpse into the back office. Okay, so that's my back office there. Look, you can see that was what I earned in the last 13 days, 798. That'll be going up as well in the next few days, might I add, which is fantastic. Okay, you can say to them, you know, you can obviously click on your downline. You can track every single person in your team. That's just like a little snapshot of ours, and it actually goes beneath that, as you can see, the little arrows further down. And the team is growing absolutely fantastically well. And I want to say thank you to our team, because that's you guys, you know. You make us look good, and it's you guys, you know. But it's powerful that as a prospect, you can see that you can track your business, and of course, you can also promote your business, because there's your website there as well, your own personal website, what you get given, and you can promote that. I've got to tell you, and I'm just going to mention, someone in our team, okay, promoted their website on the internet, okay, and they rang me up and said, you're never going to believe this. I've just gotten an order online. I was promoted online. I said, and they said it was really quite a big order. I said, how much is it? And I said, and I guessed. He said, have a guess. I said, a couple of £100, £2 grand. £2,000 somebody spent. Could have knocked me off the chair. And I was thinking, oh my word, and they signed up as a wholesale customer. So, you know, I remember my team got 20% of that. And then I got really excited when I realized, oh my goodness, I brought that person in, so I get 10%. So I was absolutely really, really excited. But, you know, so we've got this great support system, guys, okay? Then we move on to the kits. Now, this is really, really important, okay? We've been talking to business people who have come to understand that the way forward is to sample, okay, follow the system, and there is a kit that enables them to do that and get off to the best possible start and get the best value for money, okay? And this is the entry kit level, but not the kit that we would normally recommend. Having said that, there are some lovely, lovely people who, you know, where money may be a little bit tight, and this does provide an option. But this is normally a kit that, you know, someone would take on as a user, okay? It has got the 10 core oils. It is £115. And we do recommend, of course, that there are some other little accessories that are added to the kit, which is the box, the vials, the coconut oil, because if they're going to build it as a business and not just be a personal user, they're going to need to be able to have the tools to be able to start and reach out, okay? So this is a getting started kit, which, you know, you can use. But really, what we want people to be able to do is take advantage of this particular kit. It's a highly recommended starter kit. It's the most popular starter kit because you get 3 times the amount of oil, okay? Now, that makes perfect sense to anyone. It's not 3 times the cost, but you get 3 times the amount of oil, and you're also getting the diffuser. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. You're going to be a user yourself. You're going to be giving out lots of samples. So the oils are going to go down more quickly. Okay. So, you know, the more oil you've got, the better for you and the more cost effective. 99% of people that get started in coming as a business builder, okay, start on this particular kit. Okay. But there's nothing wrong with the other kit if they accept themselves that they can't budget for it. But it is important, you know, to make the distinction that this is where the value lies. This is the better kit for them, and this is the recommended kit for them to get off to a better start. Okay, so it really is very clear. Now, sometimes what we're going to find is we're going to be speaking to some health professionals. We've already recognized that. We may be speaking to a chiropractor, okay, or an aromatherapist, okay. So, you know, those guys may have bigger practices. They might have, you know, 6 salons. They might have, you know, a number of about 5 or 6 different therapists doing different services. So there are different kits that are more commercially viable for people like that, okay? I think that's really important to get that point across, okay? So, you know, it may be that they want to take a bigger kit for obvious reasons, so they are available. And then there's an even bigger kit than the one we have here, which is the Every Oil kit, okay? So again, you know, it's important to make that people aware of that in the event that you're speaking with a wellness professional, okay? I'd love to finish off on this last slide because it really summarizes what we've just taken people through. We've got a global industry leading company, okay? And I think that's important to understand. We've got a world-class product in a great route to market, which is samples. We're not selling anything. We're just offering free samples in a responsible way. We have an opportunity as a prospect to build, if we get involved, a global business. You know, we've got people in Holland, obviously Kim and Steve. We've got people in Dublin. We've got people in Italy, okay? And that's just a start. And hearing about Neil's and Karen's success about having what's going on in Canada is just blowing my mind. I can't wait to be able to do that. Well, we can, you know, because of the global business we can build. We have an opportunity to build an unlimited earning potential, okay? I love the word unlimited, and it's passive. Okay, this is a walk-away business, guys, because of that huge retention, which is the next point, okay? Industry-leading retention rate, comprehensive help and support, low investment startup, you know, and I just thought we'd finish off there with, you know, they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. Never give up on your dreams, and I believe with this business, they can be rekindled. Now, I just want to make one more point before I finish and hand you back to Neil, okay? I've interspersed me trying to explain to you why I say what I say, and I've also explained a little bit of what I actually say. So this is not a perfect opportunity for you to see how I would flow through it if I was actually just doing it with the prospect, okay? But what we are going to do, as Neil said, we are going to record this going through in the proper flow. Okay, and we're gonna load this into the web. This is going to be a website, which is going to get done in the next few days. We're going to have this as a website, so you can actually give people the web address. And we recommend that you talk them through it on Zoom, as we say, and they allow you to take you through and explain. You can explain it to them. But okay, there is going to be an option where on the site you can click something, and there'll be a video of Neil in his lovely voice explaining the business clearly and succinctly, going through this. So if for whatever reason we were unable to get someone on Skype and we couldn't manage to speak to them on the phone, okay, at least you could send them something for them to look at, but you mustn't make the mistake of thinking, okay, that, you know, oh, I'll just do that instead of talking to people and building rapport and chatting to them, because you will not get the same retention if you look this as an automated process. But having said that, we are looking to be able to provide something that does enable us to build this business in an automated way as we continue to explore new ways of moving the business even faster. Okay, guys, so look, that's me done. Thanks for your patience with how long it's taken me to run through this. I hope you're getting some value from it. We'll be sending out this presentation to everybody, so you have a PowerPoint version of it tomorrow. But it is getting loaded into web space, and this is going to be a website where you just click the arrow and it'll take you forward in that direction how to take you back as well. So that's me done. I'm going to have a lie down in a dark room. Neil, thanks for everything you've done tonight. Thanks for the testimonials, Daniel, Michelle, and also Leanne. Inspirational. And I'll pass you back to the one and only Mr. Young.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. Thanks for that. So just to recap and summarize what we've seen tonight. First of all, it's imperative that you have a lead generation strategy and a proper business plan for your business. Now, you heard from Daniel and Michelle about paid Facebook pages, boosting pages. That certainly works. You also heard from Leanne about Facebook groups and also stalls and crafts and fairs, etc. And we also talked about warm list, which is also very important. So there's just a few things. Peter's talked about going to therapists. We have some fantastic leaflets that we produced, which Peter designed, which you can also go in, just walk into therapists. I have a therapist in my team in Bradford, and I just went to where her practice is and offered her some samples with a leaflet, and she joined. And the other thing to summarize actually is that this is a professional business. Okay, this is a professional business. We're not looking for people to make 50 quid a week. You know, we're looking for entrepreneurial people who have an affinity to natural products, natural remedies, who would like to run a business and or at least become customers. But it's a professional business, and everything we do has to be professional. So to help us with that, we've got that presentation. We'll do the recording. We'll put it on a website. And as Peter said, you can do it by telephone. You can do it by Zoom. We're also going to set up a new Facebook group for documents and videos, just for speed of communication for our team. That'll be probably done tomorrow, and we'll upload the presentations in there, just so that you can have easy access. We're still going to be part of the Global Lifestyles Facebook group, and we're still going to put all the welcome messages in there and all the normal communications, hints, tips, coaching messages, etc. But we are going to have a specific area where we can upload documents and trainings and videos and stuff like that. I just also would like to say, before I forget, let me just make sure I don't forget anything. So Facebook group, website. So just to finally finish on the system itself, this is really, really important, that when we get inquiries through Facebook or through advertising or some kind of promotional activity, it's very important that we give them the whole presentation. So in other words, don't get drawn into answering questions on Facebook Messenger about the cost of products, you know, what the products do. The best thing to do is offer people a free sample, but tell them when you're offering that sample that once they've had a look at the sample, or once they've been to the website to look at the videos, the next stage is to be given all of the details. And then what I recommend you do is give them the full presentation, because then they get the full picture. And if you do that, they're far more likely to buy the Home Essentials kit. Whereas if you're just giving them bits and pieces of information in Messenger, they won't buy the product because that won't work. So if someone says to you, how much is a bottle of lavender, don't get drawn into that. Say to them, look, you know, there's different ways of buying it. We need to go through that with you. There's a website. We'll take you through it because it requires further explanation, and then give them the full explanation. So direct them to the website, see if they're interested, and then do the full presentation. If you keep doing that, you will see people like Leanne has shown 7 people, 7 kits, bought 6 of them the Home Essentials kit. And that's the type of ratios you should be able to achieve if we're talking about business builders. Now, if it's customers, it's slightly different. They may join on the lower kit, that's fine. But make sure you're giving people the full story. So I'd like to thank, finally, Daniel and Michelle Marshall for sharing their testimonial, and also Leanne Gilroy, and, of course, Mr. Pizzeria on the presentation. And if anybody has any questions, by all means, drop us a message. We'll set a new Facebook group up. We'll put the presentations in, give you the details of the new website. But Neil, please, yeah.
Sorry, there's one thing I've just added from here, everyone. Okay, one of the things we've also created is we've created a new one-on-one presentation. So when Neil's talking about, you know, if someone's just interested in the oils and not necessarily looking at it from a business point of view, we've actually created a new one-on-one version of a class, okay, which again, we're going to upload that into the group. So that would be the presentation that you would take through someone who's had a positive experience on the oil. You know, so obviously you wouldn't take a customer just through this presentation unless we identified, you know, that obviously they were interested in from a business perspective, and then of course, you know, this is for them as well.
Yeah, good point. So we have different presentations for different people, basically. Different presentations for someone who's interested in becoming a user or a customer, different presentations for a business opportunity seeker, and again, a professional therapist. And we'll upload all of those presentations in the Facebook group. And if you've got questions about that, you can ask them in there. So thank you very much for coming on tonight. I'm sure your group was fantastic. So make sure you get a strategy in place and take advantage of the growth. I promise you, we are moving into momentum in the next 2 or 3 months. We're not in this for pocket money. We really are not in it for pocket money. We're in it to win, and we're in it to win big. And we tend to drive this business as fast as we can, as hard as we can for the next couple of years.